What's the point of a border bill when we refuse to enforce the laws that are already on the books? How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about the Senate-approved border bill, which is 370 pages of pure, hot, stinking garbage. You're talking about 100 and I don't know how many $billion. We're giving $60 billion to Ukraine, $14 billion to Israel, and some more money to other nations. Now, my question, before we even get into the reaction from this and more of what's in there, my question is, okay, if the bill is for the border, why is it 370 pages, and why are we giving money to other countries? Is there a U.S. border in Ukraine or Israel or Taiwan? Why are we including billions of dollars for those countries? I don't understand. Why put that in this bill? It's a bunch of pork. It's a bunch of nonsense. And again, as I said from the very beginning, there's no need for a border bill because there's already laws on the books. Listen, before Biden came into office, we did not have a border crisis. Now all of a sudden we do. It's like when Biden came in, they changed the entire nation into a sanctuary country. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I did not vote for that. I did not sign up for that. I don't want the entire country to be a sanctuary country. I don't want to live in a sanctuary city or state, so why would I want a sanctuary country? No deportations, giving them at the border the red carpet, too much nonsense going on. Now, it has passed the Senate, which is controlled by Democrats, but Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, and the narrowly controlled GOP House, he says dead on arrival. You see a statement right here. He says, I've seen enough. This bill is even worse than we expected and won't come close to ending the border catastrophe the president has created. As a lead Democrat negotiator proclaimed under the legislation, the border never closes. If this bill reaches the House, it will be dead on arrival. Now, what he means by that, what the Democrat who created this said, there's going to be a cap of, I guess you would say, asylum seekers that are allowed into the country every single day. Basically, red carpet, come on in, come one, come all, it's all good. 5,000, that's going to be the number. 5,000 is going to be the limit. And then after the 5,000, they could be deported for no reason. There's not going to be any kind of asylum claim, nothing like that. But they're going to allow 5,000. Now, what's going to happen is you're going to continue to have a crisis. You're not going to reduce it because you're going to have a rush of people trying to be part of the 5,000. And they're going to stand in line. They're going to be part of a queue. Okay, I couldn't get in today. Well, I'll be here the next day and the next day and the next day trying to be part of the 5,000. And a little bit of quick math. 5,000 people every single day who are allowed into the country under this legislation, 1.8 million people per year. 1.8 million people every single year that are allowed in with no kind of real legal bearings. Okay, I'm coming to the border. I'm at the wall. I'm going through the concertina wire, the razor wire. All right, cool. Now you're given asylum status. Going in. Come back for your court date to follow up on your asylum claim in 10 years. There you go. That's what's happening. Now, President Trump chimed in on this, and let's see what he said. He says, only a fool or a radical left Democrat would vote for this horrendous border bill, which only gives shutdown authority after 5,000 encounters a day, as I was talking about, when we already have the right to close the border now, which must be done. This bill is a great gift to the Democrats and a death wish for the Republican Party. It takes the horrible job the Democrats have done on immigration and the border, absolves them, and puts it squarely on the shoulders of Republicans. Don't be stupid. We need a separate border and immigration bill. It should not be tied to foreign aid in any way, shape, or form. The Democrats broke immigration and the border. They should fix and make America great again. Now, I agree with I'm pretty much on board with all of what he said. My only thing is that I still don't think there's a need for a bill. Why is there a need for a bill now when Before Biden came into office, there was no problem. Okay, so you broke it. All you got to do is put it back together. Just fix it. If you drop a vase on the ground, pick it up, glue it together, do whatever you got to do. Why do we need a brand new law because you broke the vase? It makes no sense to me, but let's keep on going. Now, if you want to see the news clip in full without my commentary, link as always will be in the description. If you're on IG, visit the link in the bio, go to the corresponding article on the website. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
The crisis on the border and the uncertainty surrounding a bipartisan immigration deal on Capitol Hill. ABC's Em Nguyen joins us now with the latest on this plan struck by Republican and Democratic leaders together. Good morning to you, Em.
Ariel, good morning. Senate negotiators have struck a deal on a massive package for border security, marking a significant breakthrough on this issue. We're expecting to see the text of this proposal this weekend with an anticipated key test vote in the Senate next week. But it's still unclear how much support this bill will get after former President Trump, the likely GOP presidential nominee, has been increasingly vocal against the legislation. Now, sources say the bill includes requiring the Department of Homeland Security to nearly shut down the border if migrant crossings increase over 5,000 per day, or if the average daily encounters reaches 4,000 a day in a one-week span. But another source familiar with the negotiations says the number that triggers the border to shut down and reopen is based on capacity rather than a set number of migrant crossings. This compromise would
SBS, like the bill, like the number that's being floated around is 5,000. That'd be what it is. That'd be the number. Okay, that's pretty much going to be what's happening. 4,000 and 5,000 is just too many. Okay, and those are going to be allowed in. You come to the border like this illegally, set up camp. You'll be in, like, you see it right here. It's a line right there. They'll be in these little lines waiting for the time they come in. And what they might tell them is, okay, if too many of you guys come in, we're going to shut it down. They're going to keep the people coming in. That's the objective. Keep them coming in. That's what this bill does.
Would also link border provisions to more funding for Ukraine, Israel, and Taiwan. But it faces an uphill battle in the House, where Speaker Mike Johnson warned this weekend he's planning to have the chamber vote instead on a standalone bill for just Israel aid next week. Now, this comes as House Republicans officially advanced articles of impeachment against the Secretary of Homeland Security, Alejandro Mayorkas, who has called the effort baseless. That vote could come as early as Tuesday. Ariel.
A busy time on Capitol Hill. Em Nguyen, thank you for monitoring all of it for us. We appreciate you. And tune into This Week later with George Stephanopoulos.
All right, so that's what's happening. Hakeem Jeffries, I ain't trying to talk to him. Let's keep on going. There's more in this actual bill here. Shout out to Bill Melugin. He read through the bill and gave a few highlights. And he says, my initial highlights from the border deal: no amnesty legalization of anyone already in the U.S. illegally, but that's going to change. They'll address that later. That's the ultimate goal, is to provide amnesty. Funds an increase in ICE detention capacity to approximately 50,000 from the current 34,000. At a 7-day rolling average of 5,000 encounters per day, or 8,500 encounters in a single day, the DHS is required to shut the border down and turn anyone away who crosses. No new asylum claims will be allowed, and anybody crossing will be removed. Within the whole idea of entering to the U.S. soil, you got to process me. That would be over. Border Patrol would not process the illegal crosser, and they would be removed. No asylum claim permitted unless it's part of port of entry. This is all BS. Again, that's going to be the number. This does not mean 5,000 are allowed in before this authority kicks in. Single adults will be detained. Families will be released. That is what it means. You know, all you got to do is come as a family. Okay, rent some kids and come in as a family. All right. And asylum cases would be fast-tracked to months rather than years under a new rapid expedited expulsion system. Those who fail will quickly be removed from the U.S. Those initially passed will be released with work authorization and 90-day supervision until final asylum claim is determined. So the way it is now, when you get an asylum claim, you come into the country, you just release it to the interior, and they give you a court date like literally years in the future. Because you see what he's talking about right there. It says the cases would be fast-tracked to months rather than years. That's what I was saying before. Okay, 10 years in the future, come back for your court date, but now it might be 3 months, 6 months, 9 months. But why would somebody go to their court date, whether it be 3 months in the future or 3 years in the future? What's the difference? If they're in the country, they're in the country. And that's it. All they got to do is go to a place like California, sanctuary state, something like that, where they can pretty much exist illegal and it's not even really a problem. Same thing, New York City, not really a problem. You want to be illegal, we're going to be a sanctuary. We're not going to deport you. We're not going to let the federales know that you're here illegally. Let's keep on going. Significantly tougher asylum requirements and a higher credible fear standard, including 3 bars to eligibility, criminal history. Could they have resettled in another country on the way to the U.S.? So all these Chinese people that came across the ocean and came through the Darien Gap, all that kind of stuff, through several other countries, once they crossed the actual ocean, would they kind of be questioned about, hey, man, you couldn't have gone to somewhere else rather than coming all the way over here? The Africans, same thing. It appears that legislation would be move asylum claim decisions away from immigration judges and instead have them handled by USCIS. $1.4 billion in FEMA funding, 50,000 new visas over 5 years. New visas? Okay, I thought we were trying to reduce the people coming in. Okay, so we're going to give them no unaccompanied minors can be removed, and some of these minors will receive attorneys, either pro bono or taxpayer funded. All right, Mr. 16-year-old MS-13 gang member, you're going to get a free attorney. How about that? Oh, he's a minor. Okay, but he's been deleting people in Honduras for the past 4 years. But we're not worried about that, right? Anyway, this is all BS. There's more here. There's more in this bill. These are highlights from Bill Melugin. If you want to see these, I will link to them in the box. So yeah, that's what's going on. FEMA funding, foreign country, $60 billion to Ukraine, $14 billion to Israel, a few more billion to Taiwan. Are we trying to spark World War III? Why do we have these funding requirements in the bill for the U.S. border? Again, I did not know there was a U.S. border in the South China Sea or the Middle East or in Far Eastern Europe. But as I close, I want to say this. Again, there's no need for a border bill when there's already laws in the books. Try following the laws that exist, and we can get things done that way, rather than trying to tie all this new money and government bureaucracy and red tape and ridiculous nonsense for a thing that was broken by the people who were trying to get this bill passed. It's ridiculous, but I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? What's your take on the whole bill? Do you think the bill is needed? Do you think it's a good bill, a bad bill? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. I don't see the need for the bill because we already got laws. But then again, I do see the need for the bill if you are the federal government. If you're the federales, you're able to get some of your own desires met, giving money to the Europeans over there, fighting that war that we're egging on, giving money over there to the other Europeans in the Middle East to fight a war that we're egging on, giving money to the Chinese on an island called Taiwan to spark some kind of conflict between us and China. What are we doing? What's the reason? What's the purpose? Can we focus on our own country? Can we focus on our own country and keeping our own area secure rather than trying to intervene in the entire world? And while these shenanigans and fundings and all that comes from you, the taxpayer. Whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.